Okay. Welcome. I have Tauck Tours here with me today, and this is Luke. Luke is going to do an overview of who Tauck is and what they do. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Luke, and go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey Andrea, thanks for having me. Hello everybody. I'm your rep from Tauck. My name is Luke. I live in Long Beach, California, but I'm BDM for the West. So I can come and I can do consumer events and trainings and whatnot. But yeah, I've been in the travel industry for 21 years, but I just joined Tauck recently. So previously, I was a sales manager with another company. I was a tour director for 12 years in 18 different countries, and I've designed itineraries, contracted hotels, and so on. So glad to be working for Tauck and to be here today to be able to make these videos for you guys.
Great. So let's start with the basics. Who is Tauck, and did the company get started?
Great question. Well, actually, we just celebrated our 100 year anniversary just on Saturday, so July 12th. And we started in 1925 with Arthur Tauck. And Arthur Tauck used to work in a bank. And while working in the bank, money was put in a dumbwaiter in one of those coin holder type things. Now, it was a cigar box that they used, and it dropped, and the coins fell all over the place. And his manager said, "You're fired. You can only come back if you discover a better way to store the coins." So Arthur Tauck went out and had this coin box designed, and he realized that he'd actually make more money as a salesman going around to all these banks selling these coin boxes instead of going back to the bank. And he was traveling over the Berkshires, between banks, and he realized this is gorgeous, and I should be taking people up here. So in 1925, he had that first tour, 6 people, and it did so well that it just started to grow from there. So now we do tours trips in 7 continents all over the world, and we live by their ethos, which is to do things right. And our chairman, Marr, once said that if you go to a restaurant, you can get a steak, and if it's bad, then they'll just make you another one. But when you go on a tour or a cruise, that's it. Like you just go once. So it has to be good from the start. And that's what we focus on at Tauck. We don't want to do service recovery where we have to buy everybody a gelato because let's face it, that's not what you came for. You came for things to be done right. And that's what we do at Tauck.
Perfect. Perfect. So describe the typical Talk guests. What makes them choose Talk over other travel options?
Well, we've incredible brand loyalty, so there is a lot of demand for the brand, and our guests keep coming back to us. I think it's 66% of our guests keep returning to Tauk. They are typically affluent. They're in their 50s, their 60s, their 70s, and upward. Um, Except for our bridges product, and that's for multi-generational, so that's for families. Tau guests are curious people, so they're knowledge seekers. They're interested in cuisine, they're interested in art, nature, and history. So, yeah, I would say that's a good description of who they are.
That's a really good description. So Talk is known for its four pillars. Can you walk us through each one and what it means?
Yeah, so the 4 pillars at Tauck. Well, the first one is closer connections. So we're all about putting you in touch with the people in the destinations as well. So, for example, if you did a safari with Tauck, then we're going to have you interacting and sitting down with the tribes in Africa, where you will learn their arts, their crafts. You could dine with them and learn stories from them. Um, if you went to Ireland, for example, we wouldn't just point out a church, we would take you into a beautiful cathedral where we would have local musicians come by and perform for you. So something really exclusive. Um, so yeah, we're all about this closer connections. We're also about being guided by the best. So our tour directors go through fantastic training. But I would say that a really important part of the whole tour director hiring process is how we choose the people for the job. So we're looking for a certain type of tour director at Tauck. We want people who have unique backgrounds or interesting educations or come from something that's maybe a little bit different or alternative. For example, one of my friends, Chris Morrison, back in Europe, I used to work with him when I was a TD, but with a different company. He's now at Tauck, and Chris is just brilliant. He's very benevolent. He founded a charity, so in Africa, and it helps to, get people educated and into the workforce. He's also a snake handler, so when you're on a safari with him, he's like picking up snakes and walking up to guests and showing them, obviously in very safe conditions. We have Jilly. Jilly is in Europe. She's grew up in Liverpool, but now she lives in Vienna for the past 22 years, I believe. And Jilly's just this bubbly, lovely energy. She makes friends with everybody on the tour, but she's also a horse whisperer, so quite unique. So yeah, we see people with all these unusual backgrounds, great educations, people themselves, tour directors who are curious and who love to share about the destination that they're in. The next pillar would be travel confidently. So with Tauk, it's really door-to-door service. So we have transfers for you from the airport to the hotel. Even if you arrive in a day early or a day late, we'll do a transfer for you, and you won't find that with many other companies. But it's just fantastic. You've got everything taken care of. They're very nice hotels that we stay in, for example, Fairmonts and Four Seasons and whatnot. And then our local experts as well are just fantastic. They're so knowledgeable. So you can know that when you travel with Tauk, you can travel confidently. And then the final pillar is a really special one. It's about unique access. So I kind of hinted at it when I talked about going to see that, going into a church and getting a musical performance from in Ireland. But we have unique access all over the world, and we like to have unique access on all our itineraries. So let's say you're on the classic Italy trip and you stop in Rome, you're staying in your five-star hotel. Well, if you were to go to the Vatican and you were to go to the Sistine Chapel, now I've been there many times as a tour director with a different company. And when we went in, it was kind of an elbow to elbow situation because there was lots of people in there and there's someone saying silencio all the time, shushing everybody because there's too much noise coming from the crowds. But when you go at Tauk, you go after hours. That means that it's just you and your small group. Now, our groups are classic size on a land tour is 38, but we have smaller groups of 25 and even smaller groups of 15. So you could be in the Sistine Chapel with 14 other people taking pictures, looking up at Michelangelo's frescoes. Just incredible. Paintings. Apologies. Or you could be sailing along the Seine on one of our river cruise tours. And you're going along the Seine and you stop at Giverny and you get out and you walk up to, our talc wrapped motor coach, which is going to take you to the house and gardens of Monet, the Maison et Jardin du Claude Monet. And when you go in there, if you go independently, it's going to be a busy situation. There's going to be tourists everywhere. But when you come with Tauk, it's just us. You walk in, the sun is shining down. It's catching, it's a lovely haze in the air. Um, the sun is catching the pond, the lighting, the flowers, the plants perfectly, just like Monet saw it when he painted it. So we have stuff like this all over the world, and we're very, very proud of that. So those would be the four pillars. I, for some reason, can't hear you. Oh, I think you're on mute.
Sorry about that. Well,
No
that was
problem.
a great introduction of talk and who you are and what your company is about. And that is the end of part one. Stay tuned for part two coming up.
Thank you.